Good morning and welcome to the Greater Houston Business Procurement Forum. The forum has been in existence for some 30 years. It's a monthly event that brings together major corporations, governmental agencies, city, state, county, federal, and of course their representatives, departmental representatives that are looking to do business in the small and minority business community, sometimes finding it difficult to find those minority small businesses with capacity. Well, that's what the Greater Houston Business Procurement Forum has been about over these years, and that's bringing people together under one roof to make business happen. So this month, we're very, very excited, extremely excited to have an event that's entitled Our Houston Institutions. We're going to introduce to you some of our major institutions in this city. And of course, I guess I could probably talk a lot and more about them, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to let them talk, and of course, know that we're going to support them in any way possible. So with that, we're fortunate today to have Ingrid Robinson. And of course, Ingrid is the Executive Director of the Houston Minority Supplier Development Council. The council being a nonprofit organization that is set up to network major corporations, the corporate community, with minority businesses. So with that, Ingrid is the Executive Director of the Houston Minority Supply Development Council, and she has a very special event among all the other things that she does at the council, and that's Expo, and I guess in this case, Expo 2021. So I won't say any more about it. We're fortunate to have Ingrid Robinson today. So with that, Ingrid, tell us a little bit about Expo 2021.
Hi, Milton. Thank you so much. I am not sure if my screen is presenting, but I would like to share some information about Expo and HMSDC. So I'm going to give a quick little presentation on sort of minority business development and the history of it. And I'm going to start really quickly. You know, this area of supplier diversity began in 1968. Back when we were struggling for economic opportunities, and we wanted to make sure that we were getting a fair share of the pie. And so we had the riots that led to, in 1968, which led to President Nixon signing an executive order to create the Minority Business Development Agency, now what we know as MBDA. Back in March 5th of 1969. Then in 1971, that executive order was expanded to be able to create outside organizations to help develop minority-owned businesses. And from that executive order in October of 1971, our national organization, NMSDC, was created, then called the National Minority Purchasing Council. And then shortly a year after that, the Houston Minority Business Council, which is now HMSDC, as you guys know it today, was created. So in 2 years, we'll be celebrating our 50th anniversary in dealing and supporting minority business development. So shortly after that, in 1974, NMSDC changed its name, or the National Minority Purchasing Council changed its name to NMSDC and became the organization that we work and support now, which has been growing and developing minority businesses for almost 50 years. We all experienced the chaotic racial injustice incidents that happened over 2020 that woke the consciousness of our country and to the issue that we had not addressed minority business development. And so that led to us at HMSDC looking at our value delivery model to make sure that we were supporting minority businesses. So HMSDC is comprised of over 150 major corporations and over 750 certified minority-owned businesses who are 51% owned, managed, and controlled by ethnic minorities. We work with organizations like UTMD Anderson, who we're proud to have on our board of directors. And as a corporate member, we have our certification, but have reciprocal agreements with the state of Texas. So all of our members automatically become Hub certified. So you are eligible as a HMSDC certified firm to be able to participate and bid on these contracts. We're proud to have companies that were mentioned by MD Anderson, both Horizon International and MCA Communications, as two of our certified MBEs who have done a phenomenal job at using the council to grow and develop their businesses. So I wanted to talk about the results over those 50 years of what's happened to minority business development to give it a little bit of perspective. Since it began back in 1969, we have actually only increased the average revenue of minority-owned firms from 94,000 to over 100 and or 1,100% growth to have revenues from and employers from 89,000 back in 1969 to 1.1 million. So after 51 years, we haven't seen as much growth as we needed to see among the sales and revenue of those firms. So the number of firms have grown, but our revenues for minority-owned businesses have fallen far behind that. And so what we want to do as an organization and what our mission is to connect minority-owned businesses to those opportunities. And so with that, we want to make sure that we discuss the question of how do we create economic parity for minority businesses? Because at our current pace, based on the past 50 years, it's going to take us 333 years in order to close the gap between minority-owned companies and non-minority-owned companies. So what we look to do is to increase MBE spend by 4 to 5 times its current levels. We believe we can do that with all the economic stimulus, with all of the corporate projects that are going to be coming down the line. Our job is to connect minority-owned businesses to those opportunities and to ensure that certified MBEs can have the greatest impact on those opportunities. And we want to increase their access to capital. So we've been working with our national organization and with our corporate members and banks to be able to make sure that there are access to capital, make sure that MBEs have access to capital. And we've challenged them, if they increase MBE spend 1% every year over what our current levels are, we can move that economic parity timeline from 333 years to only 15 years. And that's what we're talking about. We need to change the case for supplier diversity. And by doing that, and how we impact that is through organizational events like our Expo that Milton talked about. Expo for HMSDC is Texas's largest minority business development trade fair. And our theme this year is reimagine, reinvent, and rebuild. We want to make sure that we connect minority-owned businesses to opportunities that they'll have to grow and develop their businesses. Everything from major corporations to government agencies will be participating in our virtual trade show. So whether you're located in Houston or somewhere else in Texas or across the country, you can participate in Expo. There's a state spot bid fair that's sponsored by Senators Boris Miles and Carol Alvarado, where state agencies will be posting bids and MBEs, the smallest bid will be $1,000. So we want to put real-time opportunity and money in the pockets of our of certified and Hub certified, state certified Hub businesses. So we want to make sure that you participate in Expo so that you can get access to these spot bids so that you can get contracts on the spot. Also, we have one-to-one meetings that we'll be hosting virtually as well. And this is to give you 15-minute meetings if you register for Expo with major corporations and government agencies who are looking specifically for your products and services. So we match some of our registered firms with those corporate opportunities to build those relationships and bring you face-to-face with those connections. We also want to be informative. So we have our Biz Talk session, which Houston Business Journal and the Federal Reserve. And during that session, we're going to be talking about the economic state of our economy here in Houston to better position minority businesses to be able to know what industries are coming back, when they're coming back, how they're coming back, and what they're going to be looking to buy. In addition to that, we're going to have As we talked about Harris County earlier, we'll have County Commissioner Adrian Garcia talking about the results of the disparity study from last year when we talked about why it matters and why minority businesses should care, and talk about what's being done to address the gap that was found in the disparity study. So we're going to be looking at what's been happening at Metro and what's happening at the county that's creating opportunities for minority-owned businesses. And then we're going to have our Power Hour luncheon. And our Power Hour luncheon is going to focus on making sure that you understand how to access capital. So we have a new initiative from our national organization to provide access to capital at very low interest costs if you need working capital, and also minority investments. We've been able to raise money to invest in minority-owned companies. And we'll be talking to some of our regional banks like Amegy about a special fund that's fresh off the pages of approval to be able to provide additional capital to minority-owned businesses. So this is just some of our sponsors for Expo, and Milton is always a sponsor, and you can meet other resource organizations like the Greater Houston Procurement Breakfast to be able to connect with to help you grow your business. Expo is about making connections and creating opportunities for minority-owned businesses to do business. It's September 15th and 16th. You can register on our site, expo.hmsdc.org. Please make sure that you register and attend. We'll have an in-person reception on the 16th where you can get the full agenda, where you'll get a chance to meet and network all in one place, and meet our new national president, who is a native Texan, but she will be in town to meet minority-owned businesses and have discussions and see how we help you to grow your business. So I hope you join us at Expo. Milton, thank you for being such a great partner to HMSDC for, I won't talk about how many years, but we really appreciate all of your support, and we want to encourage both corporate members and companies that are participating today. If you haven't registered, make sure that you register. MD Anderson will be there. And if you are a small business and you're interested in finding business opportunities, you can't miss Expo. So thank you so much, and get information again, expo.hmsdc.org. And thank you, Milton, for giving us this opportunity to share this information with the participants at the breakfast.
Okay. Another strategic partner that we're very, very excited to have with us this morning, and one that I'm always excited to introduce, one of the great organizations as we talk about institutions that is rapidly becoming an institution in Houston is NAMAC, the National Association of Minority Contractors. And of course, they have a number of great folks that are involved, but joining us today is their executive director, Abel Garcia. And Abel, you've just done an outstanding job with NAMAC. You continue to provide events of substance that make sense, and certainly that bring together our minority contractors with these major corporations, general contractors that are looking to do business in the community. So with that, Abel, tell us a little bit more about NAMAC and where we go from here. Abel Garcia.
Milton, thank you very much. Milton, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be on your program. The Dean of Construction, Milton Thibodeau. I want to thank Milton for giving us this opportunity for us to talk a little bit about NAMAC. And we also want to thank MCA. What a group of folks that have helped us through this pandemic in being virtual. I want to thank especially Brock, that's one of the team members that puts this, and also Aaron, the head of the production here. So thank you very much. I want to thank our board also. We now have 2 more board members, so we're at a full 15 board members, which include 4 women. And we want to make sure that we're diverse. We've got 5 or 6 African Americans, 6 or 7 Latinos, a couple of Pacific Asians, and we're proud that they're doing a phenomenal job with us and for us, for our membership. Also, I want to thank our committees. We probably have like about 35 or 40 committee members for our 4 committees that we have, done an outstanding job. We also started something new that you perhaps have heard about, our luncheon, a monthly luncheon. So we're going to take this in quarters. We brought in first our elected officials. We want to make sure that they know that we're here, we're present, and we want to be at the table. We brought in Commissioner Garcia in the month of July. In the month of August, we brought in Commissioner Ellis, and we're looking to bring in Commissioner Cagle in the next breakfast, which takes place the second Wednesday, or which will be October the 13th. We also are proud to announce that we're going to have daily construction worker this year. Everything has already been pretty well put together. It'll be on October the 23rd, which is a Saturday. And it's going to be at a special place. It's going to be at the Sam Houston Racetrack. I did not know that they had a huge facility next to the racetrack, which is phenomenal. 20,000 square feet that we can use, and we're going to have a great show there. Entertainment, mariachis, and of course, we're going to be sure that our families come, because it's there the construction worker, that we have safety, because again, that's primo in what we do in construction, right? So I want to thank our corporate partners. We're up to about 30 corporate partners now, and they're really the backbone of being and giving us the opportunity to have these events where we can bring our members to meet our corporate members, where we can do business with each other. Last but not least, I want to tell you that Roger will have his 46th, I think, straight in a row lunch and learn on September the 8th. So we continue to have phenomenal programs. We continue to be supported by phenomenal people. We are a team organization. Everything that we do is in a team setting for the team, for the members. So Milton, once again, I want to thank you for the opportunity that you've given us every time. Milton has been a great asset to us in this pandemic, and so has Ricky Cortez with MCA. So with that, Milton, I can't say anything else. We're ready to go. We've got a phenomenal month coming up. Thank you very much.
Abel, outstanding as always. I know you're going to be busy, and certainly we intend to be there with you. With that, one of the things that, as we talk about big folks out here, people that are making things happen, institutions of Houston, one that always comes to mind is MD Anderson. MD Anderson, and I mean, there's so much going when I mention MD Anderson, but certainly the great work that they do in cancer prevention, screening. I mean, they've helped so many people for so many years. But in my work with them over the years, and I think back to maybe even the 90s when we were working in the Bertner complex, an amazing facility, $750 million facility back in the 90s. In the early 2000s, the emergency care or ambulatory facility, $334 million. Even at times when Anderson called and said, listen, our major pharmaceutical company is got probably 60% of our business, but they want to do business with minority pharmaceuticals. So do we have any minority pharmaceuticals? And I said, yes, we do. So that big pharmaceutical company hosted our minority pharmaceuticals at their facility a whole day. And it opened up some opportunities for some of our smaller firms there. So just a number of things I could continue on. But I think what I'm really excited about as well is a young lady that is now the Associate Director and Small Business Liaison Officer, Hub and Federal Small Business Programs, Supply Chain Management, University of Texas, the University of Texas, MD Anderson Cancer Center. Gabriela Zambrano, I think has been with us for about 2 months. She is an amazing person, and I know that she's going to do some great things, and we're going to be there to support her. But with that, Gabriela, tell us a little bit about what's going on at MD Anderson. I know routinely you have about $1 billion, or maybe now $1.4 billion of upcoming work. And I know that you guys are also involved with TMC3, the Texas Medical Center 3. And so, but separate and apart from that, you have so much work on your own. So let's hear from Gabriela Zambrano, University of Texas, MD Anderson Cancer Center. Gabriela.
Well, thank you, Milton. I appreciate it. Okay, so I want to thank Milton Thibodeau for organizing this event and providing a platform to connect hub companies with the primes and public institution. We truly appreciate you. So again, my name is Gabriela Zambrano, and I'm the Associate Director of the Hub and Small Business Program. You probably have met me before. I was the Director of the Houston MBDA Business Center, and I also used to work for the Office of Business Opportunity. Now, before we start, I want to let you know that the University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center is one of the world's most respected centers devoted exclusively to cancer patient care, research, education, and prevention. We are honored to be the #1 in cancer care in the world for 13 of the past 16 years, and we're a tobacco-free workplace. So what is the Hub and Federal Small Business Program Office, the one that I'm manage? We are governed by the state of Texas, historically underutilized business program, and it is a good faith effort program. The purpose of the Hub and Federal Business Program is to have accountability. And it is the policy of the University of Texas system and each of its component institutions to promote and encourage contracting and subcontracting opportunity for historically underutilized businesses in all contracts. So for FY 2020 goals, as you can see, we have 21.1% for all building construction. Today, I'm going to focus in construction because Milton has created this great program today, but what does MD Anderson buy? We currently have an annual spend of $1.7 billion. Almost half, around 800 million, goes to the purchase of pharmaceutical drugs, and most of those drugs are specialty drugs specific to the treatment of cancer. But the second largest spend is capital construction. We have a $1.4 billion in the capital construction plan over the next 18 months. Including a new $600 million hospital. We must staff the hospital with everything it takes to make it operational. So many opportunities are coming out of that, not just specific to capital construction. Now, what I need from you, small business out there, I need you to get registered. I want to make sure that you go to www.mdanderson.org/suppliers. Make sure that you register your email address and log in. Something very generic like info@company.com, something where if an employee leaves, somebody else can take and look at the procurement opportunities out there. Also, please make sure to identify all commodities and service offered, but try not to be over aggressive in the amount of commodity service that you select. And now, why is this important? We are required to get 3 written informal quotes. Those quotes come from HUD business. And this is a policy driven by the UT administration rules of engagement and the legislation around hubs. So as you can see, anything that is under $50,000, buyers actually search the supplier portal and will ask you to do an informal bid. And then over $50,000, suppliers are matched by commodity service for social events. This is where networking is very important. Make sure that the buyers know who you are, what product you offer, and when the opportunity arises, they'll communicate with you. Now, if you go to www.mdanderson.org/bid at the portal, you will see current opportunities, and you can download a PDF to get a high-level overview of what the product or service are being requested. If you are registered, you can log in and we'll provide more detailed access about the event, including registration to bid and to offer an RFP response for us to consider. Now, I mentioned new projects are coming up. There's one coming up, which is the Campus Forest facility. It just opened on August 19. There's going to be a pre-submitted conference on August 30th. I encourage you to attend. Make sure that you send your information to the sourcing specialist because we do want to make sure that hub companies are included. And when primes are looking for subcontractors, they actually seek that list, and any anybody else that is Hub certified. Now, how do we select suppliers? So a lot of people, you're going to hear about best value. The Texas Education Code allows us to do business based on best value. We don't purchase based on price only. We very barely, if at all, do any procurement, any arena where we're going strictly on price. So you can see we're going to look at the purchase price, the reputation, the quality, the extent to which the goods or service meet the institutional needs, and the vendor past relationship with the institution. Now, I want to give you tips for success and progress. Make sure you review MD Anderson website, respond to posted bid opportunities, attend pre-submittal conference, maintain your company website with current contact information and business description, and maintain current certification. Please make sure you keep your Hub certification active. You have no idea how many times we're looking for Hubs and we see in the CMBL website that is inactive and we have to go to another Hub. And also network, and continue to network. So before I go into the supply chain management forecast, I want to talk to you about two success stories. One, I believe today you're going to be hearing from the Horizon International Group. We are extremely proud of this company. They have gone from a subcontractor to a job order contractor to a prime. They're out there. They have several projects with MD Anderson. So please make sure you seek out to them so you can become one of their hubs. Also, we're extremely proud of MCA Communications, the host for today. MCA has worked with MD Anderson in several projects and is an extraordinary business partner who keeps our institutional core values at the forefront of their work. MCA coordinates with many departments across our institution to complete projects in a safe environment for our staff and patients. MCA is always timely with their invoicing and works to ensure billing is correct. This is what I'm talking about. The reputation of the vendor. Everyone is very excited about MCA and extremely proud of them. Now, I'm going to give you very quickly, because I know we don't have a lot of time out there, but the supply chain management forecast. So again, make sure you go out to bid. This is just things are going to come up. So we're going to have one, for example, the roof maintenance and repair is coming up in September. The estimated value is $6.5 million. Please go back in September if you're interested in roof maintenance and check every week until the bid comes up, and then you start reading about the bid opportunity and what we offer. We have dialysis services, records retrieval, wastewater transfer. All of these are coming in the next few months. More roof maintenance, upgrade to hospital trash, innovation market research, model of building controllers, picture archiving, provision of service maintenance and repairs of MD Anderson aquariums, security solution to protect proprietary information, test, adjust, and balance services for major projects. As I mentioned before, the Champion Forest facility is a $25 million design build service. Enhanced parking area safety, courier service, campus shuttle service, medical gas, mid-caps parking guidance system. As you can see, we have many opportunities. Now you're going to say, how do you keep up with all the hubs? Well, thankfully, we have partnered with a consultant firm called Beneficial Alliance Management, BAM, who is assisting our team in finding opportunity for hub suppliers interested in doing business with MD Anderson in the construction and facility areas. Jean, are you out there?
I'm here.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Gabriella. I'm Gene Ellington. I'm the managing partner for Beneficial Alliance Management. We are an economic inclusion and diversity consulting firm. We have offices in Houston, in Ohio, and in New Jersey. Our role with MD Anderson is to assist them in increasing hub participation on all of their construction projects. We'll be engaged in community activities such as this, that, COVID-19 has shut us down for about a year, but we're very interested in working with other stakeholder organizations to help us move the needle as far as participation is concerned. We're reviewing and analyzing all of the different processes that are involved in MD Anderson's procurement of construction services. And we're looking to identify and remove any barriers that might prevent hub participation from increasing. We are also identifying already willing and able hub contractors. We have been researching the state's database, and we have been meeting with contractors. We are developing an evaluation tool so that we can make sure that hub contractors are prepared to do work for MD Anderson. And so we have a database now of about 150 hub contractors. And when bid opportunities come out, we make sure that those prime contractors have that information, as well as sending out information to hub subcontractors and or prime contractors that are interested in doing business with MD Anderson, to make sure that they are aware that those opportunities exist. And during the life of these projects, we are deploying a web-based tracking system so that we will be able to identify how each contractor is performing as far as inclusion is concerned. We'll be tracking every prime contractor, every subcontractor, and each project will have its own set of data, but we will also fold it up into a dashboard so that our MD Anderson team will know at any given point in time how we are performing, not only on each project, but overall as an organization as well. We are really excited about the work that we're doing at MD Anderson. We've done work all over the country, and sometimes we run into difficulties trying to move processes to a point where they can be effective. But we have a great team at MD Anderson. We're glad to have Gabriella on. She's a beast when it comes down to inclusion. And so we're excited to be working with her, as well as Barbara Howard. And we're working with Cynthia from UT Systems. And we have a very wonderful team working together, our project managers. Everybody is on board from our organizational perspective to make sure that we have successful outcomes. And you have our contact, our local project manager there in Houston is Hashim Aleem, and he's available to assist hubs in making sure that they're ready and willing and prepared to do work with MD Anderson. Thank you, Gabriella.
Thank you, Jean. And like Jean said, we have the entire MD Anderson organization helping with this. Barbara Howard, if you don't know Barbara Howard, if you're a hub and you don't know Barbara, then you haven't been in contact with the right person at MD Anderson. She's really goes out there to support hubs and try to connect hubs with primes as much as we can. And we appreciate ScanScat and Horizon International Group to participate here today. And I think without further ado, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Milton. And I think our next presenter is Tiffany McCullough, and we're excited because she's going to be talking about one of the MD Anderson project.
Hey, good morning, everybody. We're so excited to be here. I was waiting for Milton to come back on, but I guess we'll go ahead and move into the presentation. Thank you so much, Gabriella, for the intro. The Skanska team, we're incredibly excited about working with MD Anderson on the Zyad project. So I know you all know Gabriella from the MBDA, and I know she's going to bring that same success to the MD Anderson team. She's absolutely right about Barbara. If you don't know Miss Barbara, you need to get to know her, and really excited to work with BAM on this upcoming project as well. So on that note, I'll go ahead and turn it over to my teammate, Mark Elpers.
Hello, you want to introduce ourselves, but Jennifer, you want to introduce yourself first?
Okay, hi, I'm Jennifer McGillivray, and I am the pre-qualification analyst at Skanska. So I will be working with you guys on getting pre-qualified ahead of time.
And I'm Mark Elpers. I'm project executive here in the Houston office. Again, we're going to talk about two projects, the MD Anderson Zyad second floor build out, and then a quick update on the Hectra new service center that we presented about a year and a half ago, and give you an update on that one. Skanska is in Texas. So, you know, we're a global company, but we've been in Texas since 1964. So we're a local contractor with global resources, and we have $10 billion in bonding capacity. We have offices in Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio. So the MD Anderson Zyad second floor build out overview is a construction manager at risk project that we were awarded. It's approximately $11 million budget. It's a finish out of approximately 13,500 square feet. And it's in the Zyad Research Building, and it'll be for clean rooms and core labs. Additionally, there'll be some renovations on the first floor, which is about 2,500 square feet, for some office space and a liquid storage nitrogen room. Project timeline is documents will be issued for bid in phases, but approximately February, March of 2022, and we expect to start construction at the beginning of June of 2022, with a substantial completion 13 months later of July 13th of 2023. We'll have bid packages out. These are just a list of some of them. There'll be some structural miscellaneous steel, casework, be normal casework for offices as well as lab casework. There'll be doors, frames, hardware, framing and drywall, flooring and carpet, tile, painting. There'll be some modifications to the existing elevators, mechanical, fire suppression, electrical, and data, as well as probably some other ones that we left off the list, but they'll be coming up as well in our bid packages. So that's it for the Zyad update. And then, like I said, for Harris County Toll Road Authority, the new service center over in Wilshire, we gave you an update probably like a year and a half ago, and that project's still out there. However, it's been put on hold, waiting for some reprogramming to meet the new requirements of Hectra. So I show a picture here, but it's definitely going to change. And then we anticipate that redesign to begin next year. And so we'll give you an update on that as we get closer to those time. The bidding process, as usual, we send our bids out through Building Connected. So there's ways to get connected on there and make sure that you're registered on Building Connected so we can select you. And there's two different ways to do that. You can do it through a link as we invite you, or you can just go into buildingconnected.com and get registered so we can select you for those items. And Jennifer, do you want to take us on to the pre-qualification?
Sure. So the best thing to do is to get pre-qualified with us first. It will save time in the future. So we use TradeTap via Building Connected for pre-qualification. I'll actually just go ahead and post a link in the chat when I'm done speaking. And go ahead and go to the next slide and I'll go over the actual requirements. So once you get the link, I'll invite you to pre-qualify in TradeTap, which you can access via Building Connected. And the process is pretty simple. We have 3 ranges that you can be pre-qualified under. The 0 to 250 single project limit is pretty simple. We just need you to go ahead and complete the application with your company information. And the project team at that point actually verifies your safety information at the bid process. To get past this section, I'm just going to give you a heads up if you're going to be looking to be pre-qualify at this level. To get past some of the required documents that are going to be at the 250 to million and million up, go ahead and put in a blank document, i.e. for like your EMR and surety letter if you don't have those items, because you will be required to submit something. So the next level is 250 to a million. And at that point, we're going to go ahead and request all of your safety data and a surety letter. For your safety data, we're going to need your EMR for the current and previous 3 years, and same thing for your OSHA logs for the current and previous years. And then you will need a surety letter in addition to that to be pre-qualified up to $1 million and complete the application in its entirety. The last level is 1 million up, and you will need all of the requirements previously discussed, plus audited or reviewed financial statements, not compiled, but audited or reviewed. And those are the 3 different levels. Again, I'll put my contact information and a link in the chat so that you can reach out to me or go ahead and request the login. And if you have any questions, just let me know.
Thank you, Jennifer. Tiffany, would you like to talk about our diversity program?
Absolutely. So you can go ahead to this slide. All right. So our commitment to inclusion. So on the MD Anderson project, we've committed to 21.1%, but we know with the collaborative effort, we're going to work very diligently to try to exceed that. I think the goal is really supposed to kind of be the floor, I guess, if you want to call it that, and see how much better we can improve on that. Also, I know some folks have begun to reach out to us about this opportunity, but please continue to do so. And in that correspondence, make sure you let us know that you've worked with MD before, because it helps us to align best fit for you in our procurement plan. And also, we like to make sure that, our list of contractors aligns with that of the owner client as well. On the Harris County Toll Road Authority project, I have to be determined here because Skanska was actually awarded the project before the MWBE policy was in place, but we've been working very closely with Harris County to support them on their diversity, equity, and inclusion journey. And we also will be hosting a construction management building blocks course in collaboration with them fourth quarter of this year. So really our program is built on developing viable businesses through education and opportunities. We encourage partnerships, so first tier and second tier opportunities there. And we're really focused on contractors in the local community. So next slide, please. So some of the benefits of partnering with us, as I've touched on them before, the training opportunities, we have specific resources to support our small businesses. We have mentor protege opportunities available and other programs that reduce barriers to entry, and also bonding and procurement support per project. So next slide, please. So if you want to participate, these are the accepted certifications for these projects. So for MD Anderson, it is Texas Hub only. We've looked through the CMBL. We have a list built in our Building Connected system, but it's not too late to join, because if you saw where Mark shared the timeline, now's the time to connect with us so you're prepared to bid first quarter of 2022. On the Harris County Toll Road Authority, the certifications accepted by Harris County are Texas Hub, City of Houston, and the Texas Unified Certification Program for DBEs. So next slide. All right, so that wraps it up for me, but I just wanted to say thank you again to Milton for giving us this opportunity, and also to Abel for the events that he's been hosting through NAMAC to continue the engagement with our small businesses in the community. So, and I'm turning it back to you, Milton. Thank you.
Tiffany, boy, I tell you what, you are a hard act to follow, you and your team. Thank you so much to Jennifer and Mark for the great presentations, a lot of information, a lot of opportunities, guys. We really need to stay focused. We need to bid these projects. There's opportunities there. And this is the thing I'm also excited about. In Gabriella, at her core, she's been with the Houston MBDA Business Center over the years. So she's familiar with goal-oriented programs. And these are programs where we must, I mean, there's no latitude in terms of whether you try or not. You have to produce numbers. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. So, and she understands it, she gets it, and I know she's going to work hard. She's got a great outreach coordinator in Gene Ellington and BAM, and I know their commitment to getting those contracts broken up. So really excited about that. And certainly when we have general contractors like Skanska, Skanska has been one of the best that we've had over the years. I mean, they, Tiffany, you guys built the NRG, the football stadium, along with Manhattan and Beers in 2004. You built Prairie View's football stadium. I guess you're just about bought out, but we advertised 1551 on the Green. That's Discovery Green. That's a major project at Discovery Green. And on and on. I mean, we could talk so much about so many projects that Skanska has done. We really appreciate you. You're on top when it comes to our new MWBE program with Harris County. You're doing the Harris County, working on the Harris County Toll Road. Keep us informed of that project as it comes to fruition. We'll have you back on to talk more about the toll road. So just a lot of opportunities, a lot that Skanska is doing, and certainly the commitment among the folks that were here today. We're also fortunate, and I think Gabriella did an outstanding job of successes, because in the end, I don't care how much we do, how much we present, how much we talk about opportunities, those opportunities are, as we say, making those key contacts that lead to contracts and ultimately success stories that we can tout. I think Gabriella did that for us today. And I'm going to do even a step further than that. I'm going to tell you that I've got those people that she talked about in MCA Communications and Horizon Group International, or Horizon International Group in this case. We've got them here. So, you know, I've enjoyed a relationship with MCA over 20 years, and I could talk about them all day long. But we're fortunately joined today by their CEO, Ricky Cortez. So, Ricky, just share a little bit about the work that you've done with MCA through MCA with MD Anderson Cancer Center. I know you've got a couple of projects that you guys have worked on. So, how did you make it work? How did you continue to establish this relationship that's ongoing?
So,
Ricky?
you know, Milton, it actually started about 20 years ago when we started to talk to the hub team back then. We were inquiring about opportunities, and we were given an opportunity to bid on contracts that originally we did not win. But we stayed consistent. We stayed on it. We just did not worry too much about, you know, not winning the first opportunities. And we finally got an opportunity about 15 years ago to get a contract, and we have really not looked back ever since then. So we have now been doing work at MD Anderson for 15 plus years. We started out doing smaller contracts and eventually grown to doing larger contracts. And we definitely believe Milton and his team, the hub team, they are great resources. NAMAC, you know, just being part of that community has really helped MCA, and we're looking forward to now helping other organizations, you know, take those same opportunities and grow those opportunities. So thank you, Milton.
Ricky, thank you. Thank you for those words. And I think it encourages all the rest of us. You know, we miss being at the forum when we're all together, because we can kind of, you know, the energy in that one room, and somebody like Ricky, a success story, kind of just lifts all boats. We're also fortunate, and of course, Ricky is more on the service side, on the IT and servicing end, but on the construction end, we have as a job order contractor, Michael Brown, and some of you know Michael. But as we talk about Horizon International Group, they've done a lot of work at MD Anderson. I always continue to get information from Michael on opportunities. He's always looking for subcontractors. So with that, Michael Brown. I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulty with getting Michael, and I'm sure we'll probably have him on board pretty quick. But Horizon International Group, they've done some major projects, and of course, MD Anderson is just part of a number of things. One thing I like about the company is they continue to try to find ways to bring on hub in this case, but in general, MWBEs as subcontractors. I can think of in particular with Harris County, the Harris County Inmate Processing Center. That's a joint processing center, $80 million. that they did with Clark Construction. This was a few years ago. They actually, at that time, Harris County now has an MWBE program, as Tiffany mentioned, but of course, 3 years ago, they didn't. And so Horizon just said, listen, we're going to get together with Clark and we're going to create, we're going to do 21%. We're going to, or exceed 21% minority participation, even if there is no goal. And they did. They did. And they continued to bring on other opportunities as they went to other projects. They carried those same minority firms with them. So that's why it's important to get started with guys like this, and do good work and build those relationships. Okay. And then we're fortunate today to have Sharonda Murray.
Yay.
I see Sharonda. And of course, she's the External Relations Officer at Metro. And I think Alex Sandoval, who's the Business Development and Assistance Officer. The two of them, I've just enjoyed, we enjoyed a great relationship. They're always there. They're always there to help. Their heart is always in the right place. So with that, I guess Sharonda Murray, External Relations Officer, Metro. Sharonda?
All right. Hi, Milton. And thank you so very much. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
can.
All right. All right. So thank you so very much, Milton, for this opportunity. We're always elated to share our opportunities and to encourage small businesses to do business with Metro. So we have a couple of things Milton asked us to do, talk about how to actually do business with Metro. And then Alex is going to show you some of our opportunities that we currently have and some opportunities that's coming down the pike. So without further delay, we'll just start the PowerPoint. Please, thank you. The purpose of Metro's Small Business Program is to maximize opportunities for small and disadvantaged businesses to participate in Metro's procurement activities. We set goals on our projects because we are serious about having a level playing field for the small businesses to have opportunities to do work with us. So we have an annual 35% small business goal on all eligible contracts. Where do I start? Well, first of all, the first step with doing business with Metro is registering as a vendor with us. You don't have to be certified to register as a vendor. Registering as a vendor, when you register as a vendor with us, when the opportunities hit the street, at the same time they hit the street, you'll see that opportunity if it's in the industry that you registered in. So that's the importance of registering as a vendor for us so that you can know there are opportunities for you. Metro Small Business Enterprise Program. Our program at this time is race and gender neutral. That means anyone can participate in our program as long as their personal net worth does not exceed $1.32 million, and they must meet the SBA industry side standards in the businesses that they perform in that particular industry. We have a small business enterprise program. A lot of you may know about the City of Houston Small Business Program. It's apples and oranges with Metro. The City of Houston Small Business Program is construction only, but Metro Small Business Program is inclusive. It's all opportunity, all industry. Then we accept disadvantaged business enterprise certifications from Texas Unified Certification, as well as the City of Houston, and you'll see that slide soon. The categories of Metro's contracts. Whatever you need, whatever a home needs, that's what Metro needs. We're not just driving buses, but we're building streets and highways. We're beautifying the city by redoing our sidewalks and streets, all kind of things. So these are some categories that we actually do business in, and we need the services. And they are construction, professional services, which also includes A&E, general services, and supplies and equipment. If you fit in that category, Metro needs you. Metro Certification Program. We have a certification program. It's absolutely free. It's online, 100% online, and it's good for 3 years. A firm qualifies as a small business if the owner's personal net worth does not exceed $1.32 million. the company complies with SBA side standards, and you meet the NAICS code. Certification requirements. A firm must be in business for at least 1 year to do business with Metro, must have at least $5,000 in revenue, and proof can be provided through taxes or paid receipts. Personal network for each owner with 5% or more ownership of the company cannot exceed $1.32 million, and that excludes the owner's primary residence and the value of the business. Business must have at least 1 year business taxes, okay? If you just got started and you've been in business for 1 year, we'll take 1 year business taxes and 2 years of your personal to make up for that 3 years of 3 years of taxes that we need. And as stated, must meet SBA side standards according to NAICS code. Metro accept DBE certification. Okay, as stated, we accept Texas Unified Certification, City of Houston DBEs only, TxDOT certifications only. So if you're certified with TxDOT as a DBE, all you have to do is send us a copy of your certification, and we can automatically certify you within 2 days, depending on our certification of availability at that time. But it's definitely within a week's time. SBA 8A, and then we accept all out-of-state DBE certifications. So there's reciprocity with us. Okay, benefits of certification. We encourage certification because this allows the small business to be eligible to bid on contracts that have our small business goal. If there's a goal placed on the contract, that goal has to be met by a Metro certified small business or a DBE. Notice of procurement opportunities. When you're certified with us, we try and blast those opportunities to you on a consistent basis to let you know what opportunities are there. If you're certified with Metro today, this morning, those opportunities went out to you via our B2G Now database, and it will be going out to the partners after this particular segment. You're eligible to participate on training courses. We have workshops on a monthly basis, encouraging you and showing you how to actually do business with Metro, how to price your proposal, how to read Metro certifications from A to Z. When we say we want you to do business with us, we don't want you to just be willing, but we set a platform for you to be able and to learn what it takes to do business with Metro. We always say doing business with Metro is a marathon, okay? We know it's not a sprint. It's not a 100-yard dash. It's a marathon, but once you learn how to play, you're in for the long haul. And then your certifications will last for 3 years, and then you'll be included in Metro Small Business Directory. And there, when you're in the directory, there's access for the prime contractors to utilize you. Metro certifications, and the good thing about us, we are accepted by 4 agencies accept our certification, and that is Port Houston, Houston Community College, Houston First Corporation, and 4th being ISD. If you're certified with Metro, those organizations accept your certifications, and there's an opportunity for you to do business with them. And then we have a fast track application. You just heard from awesome Ingrid Robinson, but we have a fast track process with HMSDC, Houston Minority Supplier Development Council. If you guys are already certified, a certified member of the council, and so we'll fast track your certification application. So you have to give us some information, but we'll fast track it. Instead of 30 days, it can be 2 weeks. And then just the real quick steps to prepare for doing business with Metro. You need to know your industry, need to study and know your competition, need to know your products, need to be able to sell your business or company within 1 minute, review our scope of services, review our scope of work, and identify a list of trades and services you can provide and say to that prime contractor, I can help meet that 35% small business goal by providing this service. So when you approach them, already have your homework done and say, I've looked at that solicitation. I think that I'm the right fit to help you meet that goal. So identify a list of trades and services you can provide. Prepare a reference list prepare base prices, and then make sure your prices are competitive. Be prepared for your insurance requirements, for Metro's insurance requirements. Make sure to follow bid instructions. If you are unsure, please ask. You can ask any question that you may have of Metro's program manager at the time, as well as procurement representative of that contract. And then watch Metro board and committee meetings. A lot of times on our board and committee meetings, it pre-tells you what's coming down the pike. So just the FYI for you on that. And then attend our pre-bids. We're still doing virtual pre-bids. We still have a sign-in sheet that we encourage the small business that's on the line, as well as the primes that are on the line, to send us their information and let us know they're on the line. And believe it or not, they're doing that. And so we're still able to prepare an actual sign-in sheet for you, and it's accessible, accessible on the attachment of the website and on the attachment of the solicitations. Okay, and then of course have your elevator speech ready. Metro certification website, I'm not going to talk it through because this PowerPoint will be made available to each of you, but this is telling you how to get to our certification website. And then the next slide tells you how to get to our procurement opportunities, and we're going to show you that shortly. Okay, next. And then I'm going to leave this with you. Metro, we're trendsetters. A lot of times we never toot our horn or whatever, but we have been in the trenches a long time fighting for small businesses. We are your advocates. As we stated, this program was designed because we wanted to make sure we had a level playing field for our small businesses to participate on our contracting opportunities. So to date, Metro was the first organization to have a 35% small business goal. And we are excited that our partners have followed pursuit. We are very excited about that. So if you hear people saying they have 35% small business goals, we were the trendsetters, and we're excited that now you have an opportunity to do business with our partners because their goals have increased. And I believe because some trendsetters made it happen. And then we require primes to commit to goals with identified small and disadvantaged businesses prior to contract award. We don't have a good faith program. I know some people just have to, but the good thing about ours is it's not a good faith effort here. If a goal is placed on the contract, you have to meet that goal, bottom line, or your solicitation will be deemed non-submittable, okay? And then we were the first to require primes to commit a goal with identified, I said that part, okay? Then we were the first to graduate seven proteges from our interagency mentor protege program. And then just a step to that, we had an amazing, awesome virtual 2021 mentor protege program. If you haven't seen it, if you get DMAR's newspaper, look up our ad, and see how awesome it was. And we had some awesome potential proteges that's ready to do work with our organizations. Then we were the first to offer multi-trades contracting. We unbundled a big billion-dollar contract that we had with KBR, and we made it accessible for our small businesses to learn how to be primed. And so we do things like that. We were the first to offer a full year calendar of events, and now everybody has a calendar event out there. And so we're excited about that. First to offer one-on-one business assessment. Well, we'll sit you down at the table, Alex and I, and tell you where it is, what spectrum, or where you're able to do business with Metro. If you're just able to do POs right now, which is still awesome, we'll tell you that. We tell you mid-size, we tell you just have to sub right now. You're not ready for the prime right now. We can sit down and talk to you about that. So we offer that. And then lastly, offer 100% secure online certification application. I think this is my last slide coming up. And here's our contact information, our certification specialist information, Ms. Monique Petaway, and then of course, Alex Sandoval and myself. We are accessible to each of you. And then quickly, Alex, are you able to show our opportunities at this time? Or do you have that for me as well, Aaron? Okay, I don't think I asked Aaron to do that part for me because my machine froze. But we do have some opportunities. Okay, is that you, Alex?
Can you see?
I can. Good job. So really quick, Alex is going to show you where to find our opportunities. Okay, Alex, I think we have 1 minute. Alex, can you quickly show them? Go to www.ridemetro.org right here. These are our current opportunities we have today. Scroll down, Alex. You see daily cleaning services. If you're in janitoria, this just hit the street on yesterday, Monday. And so it has a 35% small business goal. Also, the IDIQ has a 35% small business goal. I'm trying to go off the cuff because I send one out that actually show you. And then the A&E has a 35% small business goal. So these are live opportunities to date that we have. And then we have opportunities right here. We're a preliminary list of forecasted procurements. We're going to start showing you guys what we're forecasting that's coming up. And so I think it's kind of little, you can't see that, but you'll receive that from us as well. But we have a plethora of opportunities that's coming down the pike, the ending of this year and in 2022. So again, Milton, thank you so very much. You always do an awesome job of bringing us together, and we appreciate you as well as MCA. So thank you so very much.
Wow, Sharonda, outstanding. And I just, I always marvel at the way you and Alex, the two of you work together with Otis to really run that small business program. You guys have been great. Your enthusiasm, your energy, you're always excited about what you do, and it shows. It shows it, and so we really appreciate it. And look, I was just thinking, I was talking to DeMars, and he just grabbed this paper and he said, "Show this paper, show this paper." So there's your interagency information on Subcontractors USA. So we're really excited about the interagency agreement that you guys have put together. That's good stuff. And we've gotten so many success stories over the years, and I know that we'll do a lot more. And I think in closing, Sharonda, Alex, I really want to reinforce certifications, guys.
Yeah.
And I think Sharonda just said it again. I mean, you've heard it several times. I mean, whether it's HMSDC, whether it's SBE and Metro, and certainly you're about to hear from Pedro and the port. But whatever the case may be, note that each one of these institutions are working together. As Sharonda said, they're accepting each other's certification. The city of Houston has a lot of reciprocity as well. When you go to get certified with the city, you can get certified with TxDOT. You can get certified in particular as a hub to do business with the state, like we talked about with MD Anderson Cancer Center, and on and on. So these agencies, institutions are working together for you. So keep that in mind, and we need to be certified. That's very important. You're going to hear it on and on and on. Whatever that particular market segment you're trying to penetrate, we need the certifications. Sharonda, Alex, thank you again for another great presentation. Really appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much.
With that, we're fortunate today to have another institution, and that's Port Houston. The port has been around, and Pedro, I don't know. I always say 105, 110 years, but I think back about the Panama Canal, and I know you guys came in about the same time that they did. And I know that I always think that about the Panama Canal is expanding their depths to, I think, 55 feet. You guys, I know, were at 45 feet, and I know you've been in a big expansion mode in terms of dredging and all, so that those big ships can continue to come through the Port Houston as opposed to going somewhere else. So, I mean, with manufacturing that you have along the channel and many other endeavors that you guys have at the port, along with, I guess I'm excited again about this business equity division that you guys have created. The port is, as far as I'm concerned, the #1 port in the country in terms of foreign tonnage. There's a lot of money, guys, that come through the port. There's a lot of opportunities. And so with us today to talk about the new business equity program, I think just instituted just last month, so timing is great, is Pedro Garcia. Pedro is the Business Outreach Manager, Business Equity Division, Port Houston. Pedro, please.
Hey, thank you, Milton. Can you hear me? We're good to go? I'm going to go ahead and get started. I know we have a limited amount of time, so I'm just going to jump right into it. Just to kind of give you a background on Port Houston, along the Houston Ship Channel, you have about 180 to 200 mix of public and private terminals. The Port Authority, or Port Houston, oversees 8 public terminals, 2 very busy container terminals. This year, we anticipate close to 3 million containers crossing our container terminals. And then out towards 610, where the channel crosses 610 East Loop, that's our turning basin terminal, and that's where we handle the bulk cargo. So you see a lot of steel plates coming in, steel pipes, roll-on, roll-off vessels, unloading vehicles, Volkswagens from overseas, and you'll also come across large wind turbine components to support the wind farms up north. So when we talk about opportunities with Port Houston, we're talking about opportunities to support our terminal facilities across the 8 public terminals. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let's see. Aaron, there we go. So this is the agenda for today. It'll be brief. I'm going to introduce the Port Houston's new business equity program. We're very excited about this MWBE initiative, and so which was launched in July. So look forward to sharing that information with you, and then get into the program's enrollment process and certification and qualifications. Get into training and outreach opportunities that we have. And then get into the topic what you want to hear about. What opportunities do we have here at Port Houston? So I'm going to give a brief overview of our current and upcoming business opportunities. So the Port Commission, our Port Houston commissioners took the first step to expand opportunities for MWBEs at Port Houston by approving a policy measure creating a race and gender conscious MWBE program. And they approved the creation of the first ever business equity division. The key target areas of the business equity program is multifaceted. It's strengthen institutional support of the port's small business program. So we're going to continue to maintain the small business program and establish a new race and gender conscious component or minority and women-owned business enterprise initiative. So just want to emphasize that we're going to continue to maintain the small business program with an overall small business participation goal of 35%. And then we're going to include 2 components, minority and women-owned businesses, Business Enterprise Initiative, and our aspirational goal for MWBEs will be at 30%. Another target area, we're looking at unbundling. That's real important, unbundling projects when it's feasible, and forecast Port Houston contracts to provide additional opportunities for MWBE businesses. We're going to institute MWBE subcontracting goals on a contract by contract basis. Again, I want to emphasize we'll have two separate programs under the business equity model, the small business program and then the MWBE program. Again, both of those programs will fall under business equity. Another target area, develop robust good faith efforts and then enhance the outreach and capacity building efforts for MWBEs. The business equity program applies to contracts over $50,000, but we will also track SMWBE spend for items valued or budgeted under $50,000. Staff will identify enhancements. We're starting to look at different opportunities for those items budgeted under $50,000 and to provide opportunities for MWBEs. And then the program will be restricted to, since it is a local economic development program, it will be restricted to these local counties, Harris, Montgomery, Waller, Brazoria, Fort Bend, Galveston, Chambers, and Liberty counties. As part of our enrollment process, there's a certification process. The takeaway from this slide is that the Port Authority is not a certifying entity, but we rely on our certifying agency partners to execute the certification process, such as our valued partners, such as City of Houston, Metro, Ingrid's Houston Minority Supplier Development Council, Women's Business Enterprise Alliance. We also accept the SBA 8A, and then the statewide certifications that are listed below. And then once you're enrolled in the business equity program, we encourage you to take advantage of our capacity building and training initiatives. So as Sharonda mentioned, we do have a partnership with the leading public agencies and a mentor protege program. So if you're looking for mentoring opportunities, please give us a call here at the office, and then through the chat, I'm going to send my cell number. So feel free to contact me with additional information. Some of the upcoming industry-specific workshops that we have, last week, we conducted one on doing business with the port's maintenance services department, and it was very well attended. We have others coming up, doing business with environmental affairs on September 22nd. Doing business with IT services. So we have, we're looking at scheduling one for October. And then we're going to host a Port Houston Infrastructure Improvement Forum. And so be on the lookout for additional information. This week on Thursday, August 26th, we'll be partnering with SBA on a lending forum on access to capital. Women in Construction Summit, August 26th, where we'll outline our capital improvement projects. We'll be conducting, in partnership with the U.S. Department of Labor, a construction safety workshop on September 1st. And then partner up with Greater Houston Black Chamber of Commerce in a procurement forum on September 10th. If you have any questions or wish to contact staff to engage us and talk about opportunities with Port of Houston, we do encourage you to set up one-on-one meetings. Currently, we're doing them virtually, so give us a call, and I'll send our contact information through the chat. These are our training opportunities. We'll be doing some third-party contract partnering with McCarthy on best practice construction management best practices. We'll be working with Turner Construction, the Lift Fund with Gabriela's. I'm sorry, not Gabriela. She's with MD Anderson. We'll be working with the Lift Fund. And then we also encourage you to attend. This is a real popular training initiative with our enrolled vendors. It's called Port University. We graduated a little over 750 vendors, and it's real specific on doing business with the port. So we cover different areas. We'll have our procurement team discuss how we evaluate and how we score our bids and proposals. That's always important. We'll have our risk management team provide an overview of the port's insurance and bonding requirements that you'll find on various proposal packages. And so it's all staff driven and at no cost to you. It runs for about 5 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks, typically every Wednesday, and an investment of time of an hour to an hour and a half. So be on the lookout for additional information on Port University. Now, our procurement opportunities, the current informal procurement opportunities currently in place at Port Houston. These are items that are budgeted under $50,000. We have, if you provide training services in the area of leadership and project management, it's informal, that's due August 25th. Reversing alarm system at Barber's Cut, again, due on August 25th. Opportunities from our office services department, overflow printing services. The bid due date is September 1st. So it's not all inclusive, but other opportunities are listed below. Anywhere from our maintenance department that procures ladders, tools, filters, plumbing supplies. They also procure employee uniforms. Our marketing department may procure various promotional items. Again, scheduled delivery and courier services. Interior plant maintenance, first aid products, coffee services and supplies on an as-need basis, pressure washing, and then we'll procure throughout the year various pipe and fence products. As far as our procurement opportunities that are budgeted over $50,000, they are listed there. Construction of a dedicated right turn lanes at Bayport Terminal. We'll be procuring 16 yard mules or tractors for Barber's Cut and Bayport Terminals. This one is a big one, trash disposal and recycling services. The proposal due date is September 15th. Annual concrete replacement at Turning Basin Terminal. The due date is September 22nd. Along with a list of other opportunities, anywhere, again, from construction services to environmental services, engineering design work. We could have installation of perimeter fencing on an as-need basis. IT services and technology support services, construction materials testing, and a host of other opportunities. Our team, led by Gilda Ramirez, who's our Senior Director of the Business Equity Division. And that's all I have, Milton. And I'm going to post on the chat my cell number, and feel free to call, feel free to text, and we're here to help you and kind of and guide you through the process. Thank you, Milton.
Pedro, just great. Oh, I was just thinking, man, I heard IT services, and you know how we work. We continue to bring opportunities, and I just saw a gentleman from MCA Communications waving, "We do IT services." So you'll probably be hearing from them, I'm sure, if
Look
not
forward to
others
it.
as well.
Look forward to it.
But just outstanding. And you know, the thing that guys, and you'll note this, and I think Pedro did a really good job of it, and that's how the port and Metro and the city, all these institutions work together. And you know, over the years, we kind of learned that it's better to come together as one, because no one agency or institution is an island. We've come together to do business together. And as I see, Pedro has a number of institutions that he accepts their certification. I mean, he talked about the city and Metro, and certainly the hub certification, TxDOT, Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts. So he works together. They all work together to make business happen. And that's why we have them here all today. So thank you again, Pedro. Just another outstanding presentation from Port Houston. Guys, certainly, you know, we saw the shift, and I think Pedro mentioned it, Sharonda mentioned it. We've all come back at some point to financing. You know, this is a procurement forum, but financing drives the opportunities. I mean, we got to know more about how to get financing, and financing is not easy. I mean, we've had a tough go of it, but there are some institutions that are stepping up, financial institutions. They're teaming up. We're doing tandem loans now, where different institutions come together to put a deal together and share and sharing the risk of that deal or that loan. You know, when I think about JP Morgan Chase Bank, I know some years ago they had we're going to do 10,000 loans to small businesses throughout the country. I know they worked hard on that. But what always comes to mind is Texas Commerce Bank. And some of you remember Texas Commerce. But when we started CRA back in the late 80s, the Community Reinvestment Act, that said that banks now have to make loans in the communities. Before, a lot of times small business or minority firms or minorities would put their money in the bank, but then, you know, when it came down to making a small business loan, it was difficult to get, very difficult to get. So when CRA took effect, the Community Reinvestment Act, then one of the first banks, we had to have a bank that would step up and say, okay, we're not going to just be a part of CRA, we're going to make loans. We're going to start making loans. And as I remember, the first big bank that stepped up in the Houston area for sure was Texas Commerce Bank. And so Texas Commerce Bank sort of evolved and into now what is JP Morgan Chase and Company, or JP Morgan Chase Bank. And so they continue to offer loan products, but now financial literacy and business opportunities. So just a wealth of opportunities are now coming for the community from JP Morgan Chase. And here today with us, joining us today, is Jonathan Mitchell. And Jonathan is the Vice President, Global Supply Diversity of JP Morgan Chase Bank. So with that, Jonathan Mitchell. Jonathan?
Thanks, Milton. Appreciate that. And I hope you guys can hear me. Let me know if you can't.
We can.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay, great. And apologies in advance. I tried to get a file out to you all, but firewall issues keep sending it back. And I'll make it available to you all as a presentation so that you guys can see exactly all the work that we're doing and exactly what I'm going to talk about here in these few moments. So once again, thanks for having me here to really discuss all the work that's being done from a JP Morgan standpoint. And Milton, you teed that up very, very well. Now, just to dovetail into exactly what you were saying, Milton, is that the last couple of years, the firm has really made a push, in addition to the work we've been doing, with a $30 billion commitment over the next several years to really close the racial equity gap. And so as part of that, right, there's a lot of penetration, a lot of work being done in communities that are underserved and that we've identified and know that, hey, there's a lot more work that we need to do to really have people know that this financial institution is here for your long-term success, right, and to close that wealth divide. As he intimated before and mentioned, we're having a lot of community managers now within the market, within the Houston market. We've hired 4 of them recently, and they're Black and mostly Black and Latinx communities to really give financial literacy into what's going on in the markets, right? We're championing home lending services, hiring more senior loan advisors from home lending to really let people know what their options are. If they don't qualify for certain things, how can we get them to the level where they're able to qualify for certain things? Because a lot of times people are not getting things and they don't know why. They don't have a recourse. They don't have a way of getting educated. And so a lot of our resources now are being spent on the education aspect. Not necessarily that we want you to give you our dollars. We would love for you to bank with us, but we want our communities to thrive. And so whether it translates into dollars from you all or taking your businesses, it doesn't really matter, right? We're here to lend ourselves to the community. And so that's all part of a global, a national initiative that's to the tune of $30 billion. And as part of that, we are really focusing on 5 key cities within the United States, right? You hear about Chicago. We just had a great success there. You hear about Los Angeles, where we're working, New York, and 2 cities here in the state of Texas, right? We're working heavily in Dallas and in Houston. And to that end, what we're going to be doing is really reaching out to the communities. And I know some of you on this call are invited to a community event that's happening in the 5th Ward, where we're going to be talking all day about all these things that we're doing in the community to try to make sure that we're prosperous. But one thing that I will talk about specifically here today on this forum is our global supply diversity focus and exactly how that works and what we're trying to do in our communities, not just in Houston, but of course across the globe, with special focus here in Houston as well. So for those of you that have never heard about it, right, our global supply diversity program has been in existence for about 25 years. And in 2019, we decided to really up the ante and really commit to $2.5 billion in annual spend to suppliers across the enterprise, across the nation, right? And we know that there are a lot of challenges and things to overcome. And so that's why the literacy, the financial literacy and the means of certification really has to be promoted to a lot of people so that they understand what has to happen. Some work that JP Morgan has been doing in this space, right? We have spent over $20 billion in diverse spend in the past 30 years annually, right? That's across the entire footprint of people that we do business with. And we want to really give people the opportunity to bid on certain things or have the opportunity to really get those dollars from our organization. We've been recognized recently in 2019 and inducted as part of the $1 Billion Roundtable. That's a prestigious group of about 25 institutions globally that really spend $1 billion plus in capital at a lot of organizations and a lot of minority-owned organizations as well. So when we talk about global supply diversity, we want over the next 5 years to spend about $750 million over the next 5 years in Black and Latinx communities specifically, right? All minority-owned businesses, where it's women-owned, where it's LGBT, where it's veterans, but we want to really key in, as many of you have talked about on this call, about the social consciousness of the nation and what's going on. And it really helps us to really center and say we need to focus in on these communities that have been left out for a long period of time. And so that's where we are. So with doing that, what we're doing is we're trying to get workforces, workplaces, and marketplaces together and really combine those efforts to say, hey, we're going to make a difference. And that's how we've gotten here. So now, the spend categories, the areas that we're looking for to really try to make an impact, right? Technology, right? Professional services. These are all broad things, right? So corporate technology. We talk about maintenance, terminal hardware for projects that may be coming up. We talk about professional services. They may be IT services. They may be legal services. They may be relocation services. We talk about marketing and communications. That's also another big umbrella. We also have global real estate. Many of you have seen that we're building a lot of branches, right? There are opportunities that may exist for facilities management, for utilities, loan services. How do we procure in the minority space for loan services, or whether it's auto finance, lockbox, things of that nature. Global security, right? Security guards, right? Application and software infrastructure maintenance, those types of things, and even travel and entertainment to a lesser degree. But these are our main categories that the firm is really focusing on and trying to really get our message out there and having people really register with our firm for opportunities that exist in our book of work. So as we're going through things and we're looking at projects or looking at things that are coming up in the Houston area, we can go to this database and say, hey, here are all the companies that are registered, that have a book, that have expertise and subject matter expertise here, and they also are certified as minority-owned businesses, and they can do these things. So this is basically a high-level overview of exactly what we are, what we're trying to bring to the community, how we're trying to really make an impact for the foreseeable future, right? And sustain it long-term. Now, the next part is, how do you get registered? Really, really simple. How you can stay connected with us, right? Just go to jpmorganchase.com/supplier diversity. We have a very elaborate website there that has a registration portal that asks a series of questions. You stay on our vendor panel and you get in there. We have a very nice Q&A section there that really tells you what it really means. By registering with us does not necessarily mean that you're guaranteed a contract, but it's giving us the opportunity to say, hey, if something is coming up, definitely we can go ahead and reach out to you. It will be through a telephone call, whether through an email, but we're looking active and being very intentional about getting the word out about what we're doing and trying to get our spend dollars into the communities that we serve, right? Because we believe that this ecosystem cannot survive by itself. We all have to work together, as many of you have talked about, and that's where we are, right? The firm is really committed to really doing its part to making sure that Houston thrives and society in general thrives. So that's basically all I have there, Milton. And I apologize again, I don't have the presentation to send. It kept bouncing back from our corporate cybersecurity area this morning. And once I get them declared, I will send it out, and you guys can really disseminate the information amongst the entire population. So I thank you all for your time. And Milton, I'll kick it right back to you.
Thank you, Jonathan. Outstanding information. And once again, you guys are hitting the ground running, just as I mentioned those so many years ago, and certainly the years in between. So financial literacy, and of course, making more loans. And I like the business opportunities. That's another great area. We certainly have people that are ready to go. When it comes to, I mean, you mentioned IT, security. There's a number of angles there that I know we have most capable MWBs, minority women business enterprises to work with you. So great stuff, man. We're really excited about it, and you're welcome back, as certainly all of the other folks know. I mean, we continually have Metro, MD Anderson, Port Houston. Those are mainstays for us, and we're certainly always looking for JP Morgan Chase to show up as you did today. With that, I just want to make a few announcements, and I'm going to just start by just reiterating what Ingrid said. Ingrid Robinson said earlier. We're really excited about HMSDC's Expo. You'll see the information on the screen. That's September 15th and 16th. please, guys, please register for that event. It's very, very important. Lots of opportunities, a lot of relationships that need to be developed. And of course, Ingrid and her team are right in the middle of it. Last month, you heard from DRC Emergency Services. That's a strong company, one that was awarded a contract a few years ago from the City of Houston in solid waste as we was deeply affected by Hurricane Harvey. So now the city has several contracts to respond in an emergency situation to a Hurricane Harvey and all. So DRC is one of the more active. I just went to an event that they hosted. And so down at the bottom, you'll see some subcontractor information, some vendor forms, and contact information. So please, as you know, we're still in the midst of hurricane season, right? That goes all the way to November. So, you know, we pray and hope that we don't get affected, but they're always looking for subcontractors, right, that are certified with the City of Houston. Next. We were fortunate just, I guess, 2 weeks ago to hear from County Commissioner Precinct 1 Rodney Ellis at NAMAC. NAMAC has their breakfast, their monthly breakfast forum where they bring key individuals as they did in Commissioner Ellis, as they did the month before in Commissioner Garcia. And so in this case, Commissioner Ellis and Precinct 1 has a number of opportunities, as you see listed. They've been working with Johnston to help get those opportunities out. So they're always looking for capable. Now with the new Harris County MWBE program that we're most excited about, just started a few months ago. So the timing is right to be certified. And remember, just as Pedro mentioned with the port, we've got about 8 certifying bodies to help and assist in getting certified with Harris County. Harris County doesn't have a specific program, a certification program itself, but they rely on HMSDC and City of Houston and Metro, TxDOT. So they have about 8 certifying bodies as well. Next. Manhattan Construction, well, wait a minute. There's Metro. You've already heard from, you know, we keep Metro's banner because Sharonda, Alex are always sending opportunities. So always be aware of Metro. You know, Metro University, we talked about $7.5 billion. That's ongoing for the next 10, 15 years. So just a ton of opportunities with Metro. You see Manhattan Construction. Manhattan, as was Skanska, Manhattan and Skanska combined to build NRG, our football stadium, back in 2004. Manhattan has a number of opportunities, as you see listed there. I won't go through each and every one of them, but they have opportunities here in the Houston area, as well as the click on button at the bottom for opportunities in Dallas. Again, they've been one of our top firms. I mean, when I think about not only NRG, but certainly they built Texas Stadium in Dallas. So we talk about Dallas's area projects. They actually built the Cowboys Stadium. They built the Texas Rangers Stadium. I think that was $1 billion, the Texas Rangers Stadium, just maybe a couple of 3 years ago. And on and on. I mean, I just attended a soccer game. I hadn't been, but I think 1 or 2 soccer games, but I was just delighted. The stadium there downtown is just, it's a great stadium. And I think it seats 15,000 people, and it's shared by Texas Southern University's. You know, they play their football games. I think they've got a game against Prairie View University. I think it's in the next couple of weeks. So we're really excited about the soccer stadium in Manhattan. So lots of opportunities with Manhattan. Stay tuned. You heard from Tiffany McCullough and her team. talking about Harris County Toll Road. That's a project that we've it's been on hold for a little bit. But, I know that Tiffany, as she mentioned, is going to be working closely with Harris County, as Harris County now has an MWBE program. I think when they instituted this project, the program hadn't started yet, but I know she's been working closely with Harris County officials to make sure that we get participation there, as they always do. Next. Hensel Phelps. Hensel Phelps is, again, one of our top GCs. I was out at Hobby Airport just the other day, and of course, Southwest Airlines has a new terminal right there. Well, that's a $100 million terminal that Hensel Phelps constructed. But aside from that, in particular, as you see here, Hensel Phelps also is working on the FIS building out at Bush. That FIS building, the Federal Inspection Building, is a $374 million project. And we just heard from Andre Cooper, from Roman Rios. Both of them are pushing hard to get MWBE participation out at Bush at that project. I think they've got a 5% WBE and a 15% MBE goal. Guys, please, I've committed to Hensel Phelps to make sure that we get participation out there, and they're fighting to do so. So please keep them in mind. McCarthy, I was talking to the president, Jim Stevens, a while back at McCarthy, and the first thing he said is, Milton, we're going to do 15% participation. I don't care where it is. And whether it's private work, whether it's, for the Houston area, for the Houston region. And that really excited me. And I really like what McCarthy's approach is. Of course, they just finished a number of projects in the museum district. So, the Museum of Fine Arts comes to mind. And of course, now you see the Ishmaeli Center. I know that's one that they've embarked on. And of course, a number of other projects when we talk about the port, when we talk about the Northeast Water Purification Plant. McCarthy has been all over those particular opportunities and bringing successful opportunities for MWBEs, doing a lot of work with Pedro out at Port Houston. So please keep up with McCarthy. Highlighting small businesses. Guys, we always want to make sure that we recognize some of our small businesses. We're always adding some, and bringing in new folks, but Impact Strategic Consulting, you heard from them, I think, in June when we had our emergency preparedness, planning and preparing for a disaster. Their COVID responses and mitigation has been just outstanding. It's just a great firm when it comes to emergency response. So Impact Strategic Consulting. Next. Wow, East Houston Hospital Clinics. They're made up of 3 different clinics. I just went to an event that they hosted. I guess that was at the soccer stadium. I actually went to the soccer stadium with them for the East Houston Hospital Clinics. They do testing, COVID testing, a lot of that, and other services. I mean, they've just been a great facility for us in terms of healthcare. And you see here Ruben Shaw, Chief Executive Officer, and his phone number. Please contact them. Just a great institution. Next. National Urban Construction, NUC Services. I can remember the work that they've done at the University of Houston. Housing, they do a lot of fogging. They've done a lot of fogging at Prairie View University. They did some 11, 12 buildings in fogging and restoration. And I guess as we started going back to school, then I know they're going to be busy with a lot of the universities. And I have a little plug for the universities as we close. But please keep up with National Urban Construction and as well all of the interior build out. You see the different tools there. They do a lot of interior build out. Next. Navarro Insurance. Wow, Sam Pineda has just been a fixture a fixture, a real fixture in the community. I mean, I love Sam and the work that not only that Navarro does, and you see their various services there, medical, life, disability, dental, vision. But again, Sam has been part of this community for a number of years, and we thank him and we thank Navarro for their great service. Next. Again, gosh, Maribel Rodriguez, Sunshine Personnel, just outstanding staffing. She covers just about every area, as you see, office professional, industrial, hospitality, transportation, maintenance. She brings the people that are qualified and that bring capabilities to the table. So Maribel, thank you so much for everything that you do for this community. Thank you. And again, you heard from NAMAC, you heard from Abel Garcia just earlier. Abel waved at me and he said, Milton, he said, make sure that they know about our breakfast, our breakfast at Donna Rocky. Donna Rocky is a favorite place of mine. When I used to work in the Minority Business Enterprise Center, we actually got funding for the second one. I was involved in that. DOSE, which was on Westheimer, is since closed. But we're really excited about, again, the work that NAMAC is doing. And the breakfast is coming up. And kind of the way they're set up is they started off the first 3 months with introducing elected officials. Okay, so I kind of like their approach. They're more of they go up to the top, and because everything flows from top to bottom. And so, you know, as I mentioned, they had Commissioner Adrian Garcia back in June, Commissioner Rodney Ellis in July. And so they have 1 more month of elected officials, and then they go into a 3-month period for medical fields, and then another 3 months for Port Houston and related information, and then closing out the final 3 months. So we're sort of covering a whole year period, right, with oil and gas. So I'm sure that they're going to be working closely with Ingrid Robinson and HMSDC as they work the oil and gas market. Well, what a great market that still is. That's always been our anchor from way back, and they still are. With that, there's Labor Now, another group, another staffing group that in particular revolves around disaster relief, emergency services. So I know that they will be working closely with, for instance, a DRC as a subcontractor. So we're really excited about what Labor Now brings in the case of disaster staffing. And as we always do, we always talk and have a tip of the month. And the American Red Cross continues to work with us closely in providing tips on not just emergency preparedness, but as it relates to hurricanes, and certainly as it relates to COVID-19. So please take a look at those tips. I mean, they're ongoing. They make changes. They edit this program. But it's very important. You know, sometimes we have to remind ourselves. I mean, we're just going, we're going, and we're going. But sometimes these are key points to make and refresh ourselves with. I want to acknowledge all of our sponsors, and there are many. I would be all day talking about them, but that's a listing, as you see, of the sponsors that have been contributors in so many ways, from funding to participation to opportunities. They are the lifeblood of the Greater Houston Business Procurement Forum. So we really appreciate their efforts. And we hope they stay in the fold. With that, again, I want to thank our participants today. I think we had a great team, one of the best. Okay, and MD Anderson and the entire team, their presentation was outstanding. Lots of opportunities, guys. We've got to stay with Gabriella. She's got a lot of things she's doing. And again, as I mentioned, her core is making business happen, sort of in tune with what we do as a place where business takes place. Okay, And of course, we talked to Metro, Sharonda, and Alex, and all the great things they're doing with Metro University and opportunities. Pedro in the new business equity program that they just recently created just last month is an MWBE program as well. I think they've maintained their SBE, their Small Business Enterprise Program, but as well created the MWBE program. And of course, we just heard from Jonathan Mitchell, a lot of enthusiasm from Jonathan and JP Morgan Chase. I mean, I think of them as somebody that, in Texas Commerce Bank, as they were back then, that really of the big banks stepped up to make things happen. And we're looking for big things again from JP Morgan Chase and Company, JP Morgan Chase Bank. So great group, doesn't get any better. Commitment is there, and that's what we're looking for. And I want all of you guys to know that you're welcome here at Greater Houston Business anytime, and we plan to support you in any way, as will our most capable firms that are tuned in with us today. Thank you again for so much. And listen, in closing, a couple of things. Our next event is going to be September 28th. And as we start back to school, we're going back to school, whether it's school districts, HISD, Fort Bend ISD, our Houston Community College, Lone Star College, San Jack, University of Texas, University of Houston, Texas Southern, Texas A&M, Sam Houston State. I've just kind of rattled off some of the institutions that we expect to hear from next month. It's going to be doing business with our educational institutions as a whole, because we need to know, as we're starting back to school, what are the changes? Are there any changes? I mean, we're going back more so than ever to in person. So, but does it affect business opportunities for us? And is there anything I want to do business with U of H. I want to do business with Texas Southern. I want to do business with HISD, with Fort Bend ISD, with Lone Star, with ACC. Is there anything I need to know in particular on how to do that? And you will find out that on September 28th. So please stay tuned for that. In closing, we're fortunate today. We always start off with the national anthem and a rendition from Kiana Wiseman. But of course, in this case, we're going to close with it because it gives you a chance to reflect. I think we've had, again, a great program, and I can't think of a better way today to close that program than to introduce Kiana Wiseman, the national anthem, and a reflection point. Kiana.
I just need to say that I'm sponsored by Jen Gardam and by Lorenza Butler of Butler Wiseman. A reminder of who we are. The words at the base of the Statue of Liberty. Give me your pod, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shores. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early lights what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I can't say any more, but thank you, Kiana, for such an outstanding rendition as always. Outstanding and reflection point. And thank you all for being here. We'll see you next month, September 28th, 11 to 1, same time, same station. Thank you.